Morning, everybody. How are you? Today's Thursday, and there was something happening this last week that just brought my attention to God's Word and how God is. And my daughter Olivia is 6 months right now, and she's 6 months, but since she was about 4 months, she does not want to stay laying down. She wants to get up. She wants to, before it was just sitting, right now she wants to actually be standing all the time. And when she's laying down, she does everything in her power to get up. I mean, this girl has really good upper body strength, okay? And she does everything, and she cries and she whines because she doesn't want to be laying down. She wants to get up. The thing is, she's only 6 months, and so she's not ready. She's not even crawling yet. She's not ready to even sit by herself, let alone, walk or stand or run or anything like that. But she is so impatient, and she sees her brother. My son is 4 years old. She sees her brother running around and jumping around, and she wants to be there with him. And so she's very anxious because she wants to be there with him, running around and jumping around and doing everything. And it just brought my attention to God's Word, how we are as human beings in general, and not just in spiritual things, but also in our personal lives. God has us in the process for a reason, right? And sometimes we are not spiritually ready to do the ministry God has called us to do, or to fulfill the calling that God has us to do. But yet, we want to do it. We want to be running and we want to be jumping because we're seeing other people already jumping around and running around and laughing and being independent. And so we see all of that, and we want to do the same thing. And we want to jump around and we want to run around and walk and crawl, but we're not ready. Our physically or spiritually, in this case, we aren't ready to be jumping around or running or anything like that. And so we need to be held by God. We need to be supported by God in everything that we do. Even to sit down, even to get up or to be fed, we need to do it through God. The thing is, we don't want to be held by God. We want to go by ourselves. And so we do everything in our power that we can do. For babies nowadays, you see those little jumpy things where they put in doorposts and then they can jump, or the walkers that babies use nowadays. And the thing is that they've been finding out that those things are actually developmentally not good for the kids because they're not supposed to be there yet. And so instead of strengthening their legs, it actually messes up with their skeletal. And so it's not good for them to be doing that. And that's us spiritually as well. We aren't meant to be at that stage yet. We want to be, and we have the energy, and we're looking around and we're jumping around and we're getting excited, and we wish we were there preaching or singing or having that career or doing whatever it is, but we're not ready yet. And so we say, God, we don't want you to hold us. We don't want you to do anything for us. Here is this walker. Here is this jumpy thing, I don't know what it's called, that we can use to do it by ourselves. Here is this man-made thing that we can do by ourselves. We can use to walk and jump and do things by ourselves. And so God says, you know what? From so much insisting and from so much excitement, God says, you know what? I'm going to let you. But the problem occurs when we start jumping those things, or when we start using that spiritual walker to supposedly strengthen ourselves. And then we find out that when push comes to shove, when we think we're ready for ministry, and we think our legs are strong enough, and we think that our hearts are strong enough and our minds are strong enough to take whatever it is that's going to come our way, we think we're strong enough for all of that. Here's what happens. It messed up with our spiritual skeleton. It messed up because it wasn't meant to be that way. We weren't there yet. We weren't meant to be supported for 20, 30 minutes, 4 hours on end in those little things. We weren't meant to. And so it messes up with our spiritual skeleton. With our spiritual bodies. And this is what happens. This is when you see leaders and you see Christians and you see people in general in any facet of life messing up greatly, because when the darts start coming on and things start coming along, people start talking bad about you, all of a sudden you want to leave church because somebody talked bad about you. Oh, and all of a sudden you want to leave that job because somebody talked bad about you. I'm shaking. And all of a sudden you can't take that dart that's being thrown at you, and you can't take that other person getting the promotion, and you can't take whatever it is happening to you, and you want to leave it all behind, and you're already talking bad, and you're talking bad about your pastors, and you're doing all of this because you weren't spiritually ready to be doing what you're doing. See, God has you in that process for a reason. He's a smart guy. He knows what he's doing. He created you and me, and he created everything around us. The first sign of weakness, we all have our little points of weakness that doesn't matter how many years of Christianity you have, there's a point that you need to take care of. Maybe it's alcohol for you, or smoking, or pornography, or maybe it's lying, maybe it's whatever it is. You need to watch out that specific area of your life more. And when that is presented to you, you fall every single time because you weren't ready for it. And I will repeat it again. This has been in a leadership class that I've been taking in church as well. The pastors there have been preaching about this, and I'll repeat it again here. God has you in that process for a reason. You're not ready. Even though you feel ready, even though you're excited to do something, you're not ready to be crawling. You're not ready to be sitting by yourself. You're not ready to even walk or stand or run by yourself yet. He has you in that process for a reason. Stay put. You may think it's boring, and you may think you're ready, and you may think, I can do this by myself. It's not so hard. But when you have to face everything that you have to face when you get to that ministry, when you get to that point, you're going to fall. And you're going to hurt yourself. And you're going to need special attention. And it's going to take you a lot longer to get to where you need to be than it should have taken. So stay put. Stay put. Stop complaining about God holding you. God is holding you still, and God is taking care of you still for a reason, because you're not ready yet. And it's all in due time. If you have patience and you depend on God truly, like babies depend on us, there will come a time when you're going to start crawling, and then you're going to start lifting yourself up, and then you're going to start walking, and then running, and then jumping, and God will always be at arm's reach, and God will always be watching over you. But there will be a time when he's going to let you run, and he's going to let you walk and jump around and hurt yourself, and he's going to be there watching you every single time, like we watch our kids. But he's going to let go at some point when you are ready to do so. May God bless you. I hope this word helped you in some way or another. If you know of somebody that needs to hear this, pass it on. Please subscribe to the channel. I hope you have a blessed day, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.